some big news coming up here, man, with
Oh,
some UFC stuff, man. We got to announce that.
I'm excited about today's show. I really am.
You know?
We
Oh,
have
look at
guests
that.
coming on this week.
Got a birthday shout out we got to give. One of them is to Big Papi Brandon Medina. He turned 29. He's in the last of his 20s, man. And you know what? Congratulations to him and his wife, because they welcomed a new baby girl. So he's in the hospital celebrating his birthday while holding his baby girl.
Brandon's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, man. He does
Yeah.
it right. The guy should have his own radio show in San Antonio.
Yeah, I
He
don't
is
know.
better than 90% of the people on radio right now.
Yeah,
Brandon
I
does
don't know
a
if he's gonna have
fantastic
time. I don't know if he's gonna have time anymore. He's got 2 kids.
Oh, I
Working,
know.
man. Yeah, he's busy. Yeah, we're gonna meet up and have some breakfast or lunch, something here soon.
Nice. It is Monday, Joe.
Yeah.
My microphone's working again. How about that?
Thank you, Lerma. Matt Lerma's in the house. Jonathan Perez. Got Sam Salinas. Greg Castanuela.
Castanuela.
Welcome back to school and happy freedom. It's F them kids Monday is what it is. I hate back to school, man. We were stuck in traffic, bro. You know, parents are just out there just ready to get rid of these little kids, man. Just boom.
Dude, we're 12
Feeling
seconds
out.
away from the intro song. I love the intro song. It's not very poodle, but I love this song.
It is cool. Listen to the lyrics.
The lyrics are poodle, but the music, maybe not. Here it is.
They say Akon.
Area 210, where the dreams don't fade. From the river walk nights to the Alamo shade. We rise together through the highs and the lows. Area 210, oh, it's the life that we chose.
It's a beautiful Monday. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. This is the Area 210 podcast powered by PF Chang's La Cantera. The chat line already open, already active as well. You can be part of the show with our media share line at 830-391-9164. 830-391-9164. We have a guest today. We have a guest tomorrow. Michael Carlos from the San Antonio Current will be on with us. We're going to go toe-to-toe when it comes to Project Marvel tomorrow. Michael Carlos, who pre-produced a whole thing on TikTok earlier this weekend to kind of preview the battle that we're going to have, will be on tomorrow with me and Joe to battle us when it comes to Project Marvel. I'm going to ask him the question, hey, you know the Express News? That liberal paper? Guess what they did? The editorial board came out today in favor of Project Marvel. Interesting. So we'll talk to Michael Carlos tomorrow. Today, we have Darian Starling on today. Darian Starling, former UTSA football player who now writes and commentates about UTSA football, UTA sports in general. He does a fantastic job on YouTube. His channel is amazing. The tweets that he has, the printed articles that he has, does a fantastic job. I think we may have a star among us here, a young man who is doing well with UTSA reporting. I'm wearing my UTSA gear right now, Joe, in honor of today's topic. How you doing, man? How was your weekend? And by the way, you mentioned today is the Freedom Monday, correct?
Yeah, today's F them kids Monday, man, because all them kids going back to school, causing traffic once again, you know. I was stuck at the Whataburger line. You were stuck in a line too, you know, trying to get breakfast or whatnot, because all the kids going back to school. So congratulations to all the teachers out there holding it down while the kids start the first day of school. You know, it's going to be hopefully a good school year for everybody. And I just want to wish my nieces and my little nephews out there a good first day as well.
I talked to my daughter, Ava, this morning. She's starting 8th grade, and just told her, hey, you know, this is the march to high school, which is the march to college. And I told her, you have to get good grades. She knows, I know, Dad. You know, she gets on a roll, you know, A's and B's and whatnot. But Chica and I are now bribing her. We're like, for every A, we're going to give you this much money. You know, we want you to get that scholarship because it's easier to bribe the kids when they're young than it is to get them going later on. If they're not academically gifted or talented by the end of 8th grade, they're not going to be that in high school, right? So we know that. But she's gotten very good about her grades. she stumbled out of the gate a couple of years ago because of COVID. Doing the whole virtual learning was not for everybody. So we had to like reprogram my little girl, and she has done a fantastic job. She did the tutoring after school and all that stuff. Now she gets A's and B's in honors classes. Very, very proud of my daughter Ava. Does a fantastic job.
Look at that. Selena says senior year, mofos. I guess he's having a senior this year. And you know what? The senior year for the kids, it goes by quick, man. Before you know
it does.
It's already May, June. You're like, wait, I'm not ready yet. And
what happened, dude? What happened?
What happened? Getting emotional there, trying to hold it together so you're not shedding a tear in front of the whole family.
I shed a tear when I dropped off Gabby at LSU her freshman year. I remember I held it together, man. I moved her stuff. We drove all the way from San Antonio to Baton Rouge. All the way to Baton Rouge, got all her stuff. I loaded up her went shopping for her, grocery shopping, went to the Costco, the Walmart, all that stuff in Baton Rouge. Took all of her stuff into her room, organized her room, put the furniture in, all that stuff. And it was the goodbye. And I started to tear up. And everyone started laughing because they thought I was going to be tearing up the entire day, the entire trip. It wasn't until the last 2 minutes that I started sobbing. But it happens, right? Probably wouldn't have happened if it was a son, right? But if it was my little baby girl, I kind of have to do that. But she graduated pretty quickly over there, so very nice.
I think it's gonna get me when I walk my daughter down the aisle and have to give her away there. I'll be like, oh no, here we go, and she'll probably start. Better not, Dad. You're gonna mess up my makeup. Because then if I shed a tear when I give her away, I'm sure it's gonna start a chain reaction. And she'll start crying. So it's like, I got to hold it together.
Yeah, that's funny. Darian Starling will be on with us at 10:30 talking UTSA sports. We're going to preview the upcoming season, which gets going August 30th. I have a fear, Joe, that UTSA football might start off 0-3. And how tragic would that be? A lot of people, the prognosticators say they're going to have a good season. But, man, that schedule out of the gate, that really startles me a little bit, man. It's getting under my skin a little bit as a UTSA football fan. The possibility
you gotta believe, Mike. You got to believe. You can't be wearing UTSA and Texas State. You're going to have to choose a side. Choose your fighter, Mike.
I choose the home team wherever they're at when it comes to that. Joe, it was a fantastic weekend, man. It was a fantastic weekend. Went to the Lisa 40th throwback concert. Joe, if you can go on my Twitter and find the clip that I posted of Montel Jordan. Dude, it was a fantastic show. Raw bass, the Jets, Expose, Lisa. Color Me Bad was out there, Joe.
There it is.
It was a fantastic.
Did you do the little twirl with Color Me Bad? Did you do a little spin with your hands up?
Do it all for love. Dude, it was just the main dude, man. It was just the main singer from back in the day.
What happened? Everyone else got died or what?
No, everyone else is pissed off at him, man. He says, I'm Color Me Bad. So it was just him and two dancers. But, man, it was performance after performance after performance on Saturday night at the Frost Bank Center. You saw Montel Jordan there. I videotaped this right here. So this is courtesy of me, Section 110, going out there with Chica, my friend Brian, and his wife Leonore. Good friends of mine. But at the 48-second mark there, look what he's wearing, Joe. What is Montel Jordan doing?
No, Mamas, he's not a Spurs fan, but I appreciate it, though, representing the home team.
Let's turn it up a little bit. Let's turn it up a little bit. Let's turn it up right here. Oh, go back 10 seconds.
They came up to mine and this is what he said. Doing OG are gonna make some cash. Some are making records and we're making a dash.
I like when they do this, Joe.
What are you doing?
Here it comes. Here it is.
The Spurs do it like no.
He knows his home crowd. He knows the home crowd. He knows how to get him going. But is he a Spurs fan? Probably not. But I appreciate the sentiment.
So his jersey had his full name on there. It didn't say Jordan back there. It said Montel Jordan. And it was number 25. And my friend Brian looked at me and said, is that David Wingate's jersey? I was like, no, I think that's Jakob
Jesus,
Poeltl.
man.
Like all the people who've worn number
You
25
should
over
have
the
worn
years.
Wemby's jersey, and on the back he should have put Wimpy Ganas, bro. Come on.
Oh man, no, that's our generational player, my man.
Nah,
But Montel
generational. I
Jordan,
already told you, bro. I already told you.
Montel Jordan going out there having a great show, dude. Candyman started it off,
Nobody eating
Candyman, tell
cherries,
him the truth. You'll still end up knocking the
right?
boots.
This was a classy presentation, right? Nobody eating cherries, going in the crowd, feeding the women cherries, and none of that. Like
Oh no,
Ursher.
it wasn't. Everybody in the crowd was 40s and 50s, man. 40 somethings and 50
Hey,
somethings out there.
the brother can still sing, man. He
Oh, he
sounds
was
good.
great. You know
Sounds good.
what Montel Jordan did, by the way, during the show was he mentioned the fact that he's no longer singing cochino stuff, right? He sang one of his songs, and the part of the song where it gets a little bit dirty, he kind of stopped it and said, "Hey, man, I just want to let you guys know I'm a preacher now. I'm a pastor."
Yeah.
And he encouraged people to go back to church and all that stuff. And he goes, God loves everybody in here, but for some of you who don't go to church, God now misses you. It was a great moment out there.
He didn't pass the collection plate.
He
You
did
sneaked down
not,
for
man.
some money.
The Jets were out there, big old family. They did a fantastic job. Expose was amazing. I was not an Expose fan growing up, but they did a fantastic job over the weekend. Taking a look at the main event, which was Lisa, that's the headliner. It was her celebration for 40 years in the industry.
Oh, look at Sampson. There's lots of hips cracking, the knees giving out in that crowd. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what? I was going to show this later, but this has to come early. Knees cracking. Let's show Chica, dude. I had an urban cowboy moment over the weekend.
Which one do you want me to show? The video of her dancing?
Yeah.
All right.
So we went to a country dance hall there in Houston. If you don't remember the movie Urban Cowboy with John Travolta, the whole Pam versus Sissy, it takes place at a country dance hall. And I told Chica, I don't want any other guy dancing with her. I am that dude, okay? I am that possessive of Chica.
You didn't have to tell nobody to stop. Don't be touching her.
We had a couple of bottles. Oh, that's the bottle service coming on in.
Okay, and then this is the one her dancing.
Can you full screen it?
I can. Doesn't let me.
Okay. Chica doing the Cotton Eye Joe.
There you go.
She
and you had bottle service?
Yeah. So. It was a good time. The sign in the back says, "These are great men." It was fantastic.
Man, too bad I couldn't get a good look at your eyes, because I say the eyes don't lie, Mike. You can tell how drunk you are by your eyes.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're trash and you take those videos with Chica, I'm like, bro, I don't even know how you stand it.
But the great thing though was, Joe, we had Uber the entire night.
That's
we had
good.
We had a hotel room.
That's a smart call, man. You don't want to get no DUI driving around downtown or anywhere.
July 26th, asking the question, which pixel was Chica? They want to see Chica out there. That's funny.
Hey,
no, it wasn't the greatest of you can only show so much on that media share.
You brought up the argument, Pam or Sissy. I'm like, it's always gonna be Pam. Sissy's for the streets, bro. Like, dude, Pam is successful. She's making her own money. She has her own career. She's supportive of what you're doing. I mean, she looks hot as hell. Sissy's for the streets, bro.
There's no question it's Pam. Okay. I think the reason why they say Sissy is because they think that she's going to be ride or die. And at the end of the day, here's the thing, Joe. Remember in the movie Urban Cowboy, he gets hurt like on the rig.
Yeah.
Sissy would take care of him. And there is a possibility that if they got back together, reconnected, that he and Sissy, Bud and Sissy, would stay together for the rest of their lives. As toxic as that would be, she might be ride or die when it's all said and done. Okay. Pam was better looking, more successful, came from money, all that stuff. But Pam wasn't going to stay with Travolta's character forever. That was a 1-year deal top.
Nah, bro. How do you know? How do you know? She could have probably made him better, inspired him because she was behind whatever he wanted to do, and make him a better man versus Sissy, who's just going to probably cheat on you because you can't get any money. You know,
well, they were both going to cheat on her. Both of them were for the streets.
She's
Both of
for the
them were from
streets,
the
bro. No,
both of them
I'm
were from the streets, dude.
in my scenario. Bud leaves Sissy, goes with Pam, and goes on to be successful, running his own, oil business over there.
He was, but
Becomes a
here's the thing.
multimillionaire behind Pam,
Why
and with
would
Sissy
Pam
living in the trailer park.
why would Pam want to be with him long term? What does he bring to the table?
Hey, man, he laid down that wood good, dude.
Yeah,
Does it
but that
all.
only
That's
goes
all
that
she
only
needs.
that only goes so far, dude. She needs to have, because she was hooking him up with a job, right? She hooked
Yeah.
him up with a job and all that stuff. His career was only as good as what she was going to be able to provide. He brought
Well, he can
nothing
make
to the
his own.
table.
He just
He
needs
was
a real man just needs somebody behind him to go ahead and support him. And then once he gets that support, the rest is up to him. You got to go out there and you got to make the sell, bro. You got to go out there and sell yourself.
yeah. All right,
That's up to you.
go on my Twitter real fast.
Yeah.
Better pixelation.
What am I looking for?
Oh, the
The
first thing that's
pictures?
on there. The first thing that's on there, dude. Cotton Eye Joe. That was fun, dude.
Oh yeah, I see it. I see it.
They asked which pixel she was. She likes the fact that we call her Chica, but she also doesn't like that we call her Chica, by the
Don't use her government name. That's why we
Yeah.
call her Chica.
Dude, this was fun, dude. Might have been a few drinks in. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Possibly.
she having fun.
Yeah. So we talk about it. I'm like, there's no way in the world I want my woman dancing with any other dude. And it's a country place where they ask you, hey, you want to dance? You want to dance? You want to dance? And I told her, the hell you are. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen.
You wouldn't even let her dance with your friends?
No.
Oh,
No.
Mike.
No.
Why not? What your friends gonna do? Why you scared, bro?
Ain't scared. Ain't
Why you
scared.
scared?
I don't want nobody rubbing up on her.
Who's
Next
gonna
story.
rub up on her, bro? Come on, Mike.
JHNSB responds on our chat powered by PF Chang's La Cantera, sharing his carrying Mike. No, you go get your own Chica.
You're gonna say, "Oh no, my brother, you got to get your own." Hey, we got an incoming super chat from Greg, by the way.
Greg comes out and says, do y'all remember when Montel had the Spurs version? Everyone kept saying that over the weekend. I don't
did.
remember it. But
Yeah.
Fernandez brought it up on Twitter saying something like, this is how we shoot it or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
it was
funny.
way back. They played it on the airwaves back in the day, man.
Bones Tube reaches out to us on our chat powered by PF Chang's La Cantera and says, Mike is toxic. Nice. July 9326 says, give me Chica's sisters.
Does she have sisters? I never asked her if she had sisters.
She's like me, though, where I'm the baby of the family by
Yeah.
like many, many years. I'm 10, my sisters are 10 to 15 years older than me, rather. Her sisters are also 10 years older than her as well. So I would probably say, nah, it's all right.
No, everybody's still going in the debate between Pam and Sissy, man.
Dude, the Pam and Sissy debate will never die.
We got to
will
get a
never
poll
die.
up for that, man. We got to get a poll up for that.
They're both toxic in two different ways, man. Because what Sissy did by doing the mechanical bull after Bud said, please don't do that, because he knew that she'd fall for that other dude who just got out of jail. That meant she was for the streets. But if Bud was hit by a truck on the side of the road, Sissy would go help him. Pam wouldn't. Pam would be like, nah.
Oh, how do you know, Mike? You're just assuming, man. No.
No, Pam had all the money, had all the looks,
Man,
all the
who hurt you,
connections,
Mike? Who hurt you, bro?
had the condo and all that stuff. Bud had nothing, dude. Bud was
Yeah,
living
Mike,
in
you sound like a scorned woman,
in
man.
a relative's trailer with no money and no education and no job. Come on, man. He was a scrub who knew how to dance. That's all it was. He was a scrub who knew how to dance. Now, speaking of scrubs, Jeremy Sochan just played. Oh, I was just looking for the transition, Joe. Matt Laramie, I apologize, but Jeremy Sochan, is he injury prone, Joe? It happened again. He's out there going to be playing for Poland. We saw that video of him working out in Phoenix a couple of months ago. He's been training well against, folding chairs and brooms and stuff like that. Not trying to knock down threes. What happens? Strained calf. And he's no longer going to be playing for Poland. He missed the game, and he has decided to hang it up for the summer and be ready for the start of the NBA season. Joe brings up the question. He's in the final year of his rookie deal. Is he injury prone? And before you answer that question, Joe, here's a list of his injuries. November 2024, fractured his left thumb in a game against the Clippers. Right? March 24, he had an ankle injury. Multiple times with a knee injury. Had a head injury in February 2025. Calf strain now. Has missed a lot of games over the years. Two of the last 3 years.
Don't forget his back last season.
The best availability is what, Joe?
Availability.
Right? And Jeremy Sochan played 56 games his rookie year, which means he missed 26. Played 54 games last year, which means he missed 28. Now, a couple of them could have been because of load management. I get that. But, I mean, that's 2 out of 3 seasons where he's missed a significant chunk. Is Jeremy Sochan injury prone? Because now he has a calf strain, which he has experienced in the past already. Everyone asking the question, wait, is Jeremy Sochan injured? Yes, again. I mean, so he's not playing for Poland. But, Joe, scale of 1 through 10, 10 being this is a lot of cause for concern. What is it?
He injury prone, man. You know what the Spurs should do with Sochan? They should just tell him,
bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Ooh.
Let his ass go. Trade his ass, man. You know what? I hope the Spurs trade Jeremy Sochan. He's damaged goods. He ain't worth the 20-something million that he might garner in the offseason if they let him go into free agency. Get what you can for the brother. Let him go. Part ways. And you move on. You already got his replacements there. Maybe get some picks for the future or something. You know, I mean, just let him go, dude. He's all right. He's just a dude at the end of the day. And you know what? I hope the Spurs trade him, because if they do, the fan base will be in shambles, man. Because you know what? He's the second coming of Dennis Rodman just because he paints his hair color. He's Tamu Rodman. He ain't never going to live up to Rodman's billing, dude. He ain't got that dog in him like Rodman did.
And what's funny about that, though, Joe, is that a lot of Spurs fans are coming around to that a little bit. Because a lot of them are coming out saying, like, you know, you see on Spurs Twitter, people asking the question, well, who's your starting 5? And people are like, well, I think it should be, you know, Castle and Fox and Wemby. And they start naming their starting 5, right? They don't want to put Harrison Barnes out there when we all know Harrison Barnes is going to start all 82 games this season, right? And then they insert Sochan's name in there. And I asked the question, what has he done to warrant being the starter? Like, what has he done? He's an above-average defender. He's a very good defender. I wouldn't say elite. I wouldn't say shutdown. I say he's a very good defender. And there is a value to that on a team that's doing well. There's no value to that on a team that's doing poorly. But say that he is that. Jeremy Sochan is going to be fighting for minutes this year because the team is better. Luke Cornett's back there. Kelly Olynyk is back there. Harrison Barnes is going to play all 82 games. You've got a deeper team. Sochan better make the most out of his minutes, Joe, because he might only play 22 a game.
You know what? Sit his ass. You put in Carter Bryant instead. You know, do something else.
Carter Bryant can't score. He's not a shooter.
It doesn't matter, but Jeremy can't shoot either, dude. They leave him wide open beyond the arc. They tell him, you know what? We're going to go ahead and just sag off you and just let you shoot. Show me. You know what he's going to do? He's going to blank. It's going to clang off the back of the rim and go long. Somebody's going to grab the long rebound, head down the other way, down the other side of the court. Easy layup, easy dunk. Every single time.
Mario Kovacic.
We got Darian starting. Darian just joined us.
Give me 1 minute there. Mario Kovacic reaches out to us and says, Spurs starting season in Dallas and playing Christmas Day, full schedule to be released on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
We got a Christmas Day game. Spurs fans were all like, well, why isn't it at the Frost Bank Center? Well, because we're playing Oklahoma City in Oklahoma City because they are the defending champions.
Yeah.
Greg saying that he's Sheen Rodman. JHNSB says, Lerma told me that Sochan is our next Kawhi. Oh, my God.
No mames.
No mames otra vez.
And Sam Salinas on our chat powered by PF Chang's La Cantera saying Jeremy Sohan is a generational scrub.
No lies detected.
Ooh. Joe, before we go to Starling, let's give some love to our sponsor, PF Chang's at La Cantera. They do a fantastic job. Again, they have a happy hour every day from 3 to 6. Again, Wednesday is Wines Day, half off champagne bottles, half off wine bottles as well. Let's give them some love. And then we're going to have Darian Starling talking to us as a preview of UTSA's football season, which starts in less than 3 weeks.
PF Chang's La Cantera, San Antonio's premier destination for dinner, date night, or happy hour. Enjoy one of their signature dishes, such as the Singapore street noodles, sesame chicken, or Chang's spicy chicken, or their infamous Chang's chicken lettuce wraps, which are delicious, by the way. You can enjoy all this while you're dining in an Asian-inspired atmosphere. And make sure to enjoy the new outdoor patio and try some of PF Chang's signature cocktails and drinks during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. PF Chang's La Cantera is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast. All right, and we're bringing him on. Here he is.
Very nice. There he is.
Hey
The
guys,
man
how's it going?
himself.
Hey, what's up,
That
man?
is former UTSA cornerback Darian Starling joining us. Does a fantastic job covering UTSA football on social media, whether it be on Twitter, on YouTube, everything from the podcasting to the reporting to the editorial things that he's doing. Darian doing a fantastic job. You are a former UTSA Roadrunner player yourself. How long have you been doing this, man? How long have you been following the team, getting your social media on?
Yeah, man, I've been doing this since I graduated. So I kind of started during my tenure at UTSA back in 2013. I started my own blog when I was writing with the Cowboys or for the Cowboys and covering the Cowboys. But right after I graduated 2015. So I've been doing this for a decade now. So yeah, I love the runners, man.
But there's
You've been
something
doing this for a
different.
while now.
But there's something different these days. You seem to be a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit more featured in places. I see your name more. I see your reporting more. Are you doing it more frequently? What's going on? How are you getting more eyes on you?
Yeah, I've certainly changed my approach, man. I think for a while I was doing this with Nick Carizales. For a minute, we were partnering on something called Road Runners Unfiltered, and at that time, we were just pushing the brand itself. But a few years ago, he came to me and said, "Hey, I think I'm done," and I had to sort of rebrand for myself. So now that I have full creative control, I wanted to change it up a little bit and focus on me, right? My experience. And my background and what my skill set is. So yeah, I started to do that. I've taken it a lot more serious and been a lot more strategic about what content I'm putting out, and been a lot more strategic about who I talk to at UTSA, the topics that I'm talking to, that I'm talking about, and those sorts of things. And it's been working, man. It's been fun. It's been really fun.
Very, very, very good. We have Darian Starling joining us. Before we get into the whole talk about the UTSA season up ahead, coming off a 7-6 campaign, a victory at the Myrtle Beach Bowl, back-to-back bowl victories, by the way, for this program. You were part of this program when in its infancy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have been on the field as a player for many years, many seasons with the team. You have been there as a fan and as a reporter.
Yeah.
We debate whether or not the Alamo Dome is the best place for a team like UTSA to play, or would it be better for them to have some sort of on-campus stadium with 35 to 45,000 seats as opposed to the 65,000 seat Alamo Dome. What are your thoughts on that as a player, from a player's perspective, and then from a fan perspective? Are they one and the same?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think honestly, nothing beats the Dome, and I understand the want to have a on-campus stadium, but I actually don't think it will change that much. It's one thing if like UTSA was sharing the Dome with I know there's like the Brahmas are in the Dome too, but like a big NFL team, if they were sharing the Dome with the NFL team, then you'd have me. But I actually think the Dome is great. I think there's opportunity to if this Project Marvel thing goes right, there's opportunity there to pull more people in and make the experience a lot better. And I don't know. It's something about having perfect weather every game for me. And not and not playing in like 100-degree weather. That makes a huge difference going into a game as a player, and it's a huge thing for fans too. I'm sure people don't want to be in the stands sweating up a storm if they don't have to. So I like the dome.
As a player, though, coming out of you were out of Tyler, right, in that area?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So as a player, you're coming out of Northeast Texas, and I'm sure you have offers from various schools and whatnot. You looked at UTSA as a program that was brand new at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff Traylor wasn't even there yet. Who was the coach again at
Larry
that
Coker.
time? Larry Coker.
Yeah.
So formerly of Miami Hurricanes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You take a look at this program. Why did you choose UTSA?
Yeah, it's a great question because a lot of people were asking me that at the time. Yeah, you know what? I think they really sold me on San Antonio, if I'm being completely honest. Like, so at that time, I had narrowed my selection down to 2 schools. At that time, it was either going I was going to get in touch with my Hispanic heritage friends regardless. It was either UTSA or UTEP. So it was either going to be El Paso or San Antonio. And when I did my official visit in San Antonio, I was blown away at just the city, the love for the folks already, and there wasn't even a team. There was just an energy there that I could feel whenever I got there. And then it was Coach Coker. I mean, who wouldn't want to? It's hard to tell that guy no when he's sitting in your living room, coming in with that legendary, stories from that legendary Miami team in '01 and all the guys he's coached. But there was also opportunity to play, right? They basically told me, hey, if you beat out the guys who are going to be on your level, you'll be a starter as a freshman. And that was a big thing too. UTEP couldn't offer me that. They had some guys that were already there that were going to 100% be starters going through. So yeah, I think San Antonio was the biggest thing. I just felt the energy from the people the second I got there. And yeah, San Antonio, and also UTSA has some pretty cool on-campus dorms. So that played a factor.
I can attest to the dorms because I moved my daughter to her dorms when she was going to UTSA there. They got some nice ones. They got the older dorms, and then they got the nicer ones and the newer facility they had that if you go down to the street level, they have their own little cafe. They got a little coffee shop in there and everything. It's nice, man.
Yeah. That made a big difference for me.
Well, Darren, I appreciate your perspective because, not only as a podcaster, as a journalist, but also as a former player, that's fantastic. I have a fear, Darian.
Okay.
I have a fear that it's going to be mid-September and UTSA is going to be 0-3.
Oh, okay.
I have a fear.
0-3,
I'm not saying that I'm cheering for it.
Okay.
I'm just saying game 1, August 30th at Texas A&M, Kyle Field. I was just in Vegas the other day. I was just in Miami the other day as well, looking at the spreads.
Yeah.
There are 3 touchdown underdogs. So not a lot of people believe that UTSA is going to come out of that game with a victory. Then they come home for their home opener against their biggest rivals, Texas State. G.J. Kinney bringing the fellas in from San Marcos. G.J. Kinney, a college football mercenary. Again, he knows Jeff Traylor so well. Their families are very close.
Mm-hmm.
That could be 0-2. And then Kinney's old team, UIW, taking on UTSA. I'm not saying that I expect UTSA to go 0-3. I'm just saying that it's not out of the realm of possibility. And at that point, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you that I don't agree with the 0-3, but I can understand how you can get there. But let me try to offer a different perspective. Yeah. So you're right. August 30th, I am not picking UTSA to upset Texas A&M. I know there's a lot of folks in the fan base. They come on my show all the time, and they're trying to sell me on the A&M game and UTSA upsetting them. We have a great offense. It's going to be great next year. It's going to be great this season. I can't see us pulling that win off. But when you look at the Texas State game, it brings me to this game. First off, UTSA hasn't lost in the Alamo Dome since 2023. That's the one thing. 2 of those 3 games are at the Alamo Dome. When you look at UTSA versus Texas State, although they embarrassed us last year 100%. They are now ushering in a new quarterback. Last year, we were ushering in a new quarterback. So they caught us a little bit. They caught us slipping a little bit, to be fair. So when you look at Owen McCown, which is the starting quarterback now, when you look at him at the very beginning of the year last year at Texas State, and then you look at him at the very end of the season, completely different player.
Okay.
Completely different player. So to me, whenever you look at that offense, you got the starting running back coming back. All of his receivers is coming back. He has more continuity on his offensive line coming back. They're going to see a fully fleshed out offense that's going to put out a lot of numbers, which is not what they seen last season. So to me, I think the situation from last season flips because they're bringing in a new quarterback, and now we got a guy who is proven and who's projected to be all conference and things like that. So that's why I think that'll shift. And then obviously, and then UIW, as they lost so much on that team, they lost so many of their big time folks. I know they have Withall, their All-American receiver, who's returning, who's a great player, but I don't think it'll be enough to overcome UTSA, to be honest. So 2-1 is what I'm thinking in the first 3 games.
I think there's a big talent deficit too when it comes to Texas A&M and UTSA. I think just overall Texas A&M has the money. Money will buy you better players. So you're looking at the caliber of player, but it's not knocking UTSA. I think UTSA will be able to stay in the hunt for a little bit and make it a respectable game in the beginning. But then when you come back in that second half, the wheels might fall off there, because the same thing happened with UT. Everybody was like, look at me now, UTSA. They're sticking out there with UT. It's like, look at that. And then what happened? The talent showed itself, and then the wheels came off. But you know what? UTSA, they made a valiant effort.
No, it's the depth, man. UTSA just didn't have the depth to keep up with UT a couple of years ago when they went toe-to-toe for the first couple of quarters. Joined by Darian Starling. He covers UTSA sports. He's also a former UTSA athlete himself. We're previewing the upcoming season. Again, it gets going August 30th against the Texas A&M Aggies in Kyle Field. So that Texas State game, though, man, it would be a big reversal because you said embarrassed.
Yeah,
it was 49-10. I mean, that was bad. But as you mentioned, Owen McCown kind of turned it on towards the end of the year. They did have a winning season. That was kind of in doubt for a while. They did have a winning season. They did go to the bowl game, the Myrtle Beach Bowl. They pulled out a victory, back-to-back years with a victory at a bowl game. What's the best case scenario for UTSA football this year?
So, this is a tricky one because, all right, now this isn't my prediction because I'm not going to be like super homer, but the best case scenario is UTSA running the tables after the A&M game. Because if you look at the schedule, there's no one on the schedule that you mark a loss like from day one except this A&M game. And for some folks, they don't even mark that a loss. But like when I look at the hardest tests that UTSA has on their schedule going into the 2025 season, they're all at the Alamo Dome. And whenever you look at Coach Traylor's record at the Alamo Dome is 29-3.
Wow.
So when you take that into account, the hardest games is Texas State's going to be tough, right? That's going to be tough because of last year, and we just gotta. It's a rivalry game. The coaches know each other well, so on and so forth. That's going to be a tough one. The next most difficult game at the Dome is going to be Tulane. That game right there to me is probably the most important game of the season for UTSA when you think about conference titles and things like that. That Tulane and UTSA game, one of those teams that come out of that game as the victor will likely play in the conference championship. Mm-hmm. And then the other most difficult game they have is Army to end the season. That's also in the Dome.
Army just runs up and down UTSA every time they
all
play.
The time. Yeah. We've only beaten Army, I think, once, I believe.
We know what they're going to do. They have what's called the Earl Campbell offense from back in the 80s. Earl Campbell to the left, Earl Campbell to the right, Earl Campbell up the middle. That's all they do is run the ball. They have like 30 yards passing, and then that's it. But they somehow get victories out of that. On the chat, which is powered by P.F. Chang's La Cantera, people want to get your opinion on me for some reason. Mario Cavasso saying, take off that shirt immediately, poser, talking to me.
Yeah.
And Sam Salinas says, tell him about your mixed allegiance, Mike. Well,
you got to choose your fighter.
Okay, so I went to both schools, Texas State and UTSA. I graduated from UTSA, but my sophomore and junior year were over at Texas State. So
Ah,
whenever they play each other, I root for the home team. Okay, which means last year I was rooting for Texas State.
oh,
This
come
year
on,
I'm
Mike.
rooting for UTSA. On the wall over here is my degree. It says UTSA. It's the sombria, whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
That the photo of it. But what are your thoughts on a mixed allegiance, or do I just have to go with the team that has the degree from?
Yeah, it don't count if you don't have the degree. The degree, hey, the degree settles
Keep
the
it real,
score.
Darren. Darren,
The
keep it
degree
real.
settles the score. Your allegiance should be with the runners, baby.
Very nice.
You
Hey,
know, he's
who
gonna be that Homer Simpson meme, Darian. When UTSA, if they start losing, he's gonna have the Texas State shirt underneath.
Oh,
He's gonna go and
gosh.
take it off and be like, "Yeah, you heard that right. I was Texas State from the beginning." I'm like,
Por
"My
vida, por vida.
no, bro, no."
So, speaking of UTSA for life,
Yeah.
I have enjoyed following the journey. Okay, first of all, I'm a big fan of like Hard Knocks. I
Okay,
wish
yeah.
they were doing Hard Knocks with the Jacksonville Jaguars because we're seeing Joshua Cephas
Yeah.
blow up over there. He was my favorite player for the past 3 or 4 seasons at UTSA. Deep threat. I mean, the guy, forgive my language, had balls going up the middle. Okay. You played cornerback. You know what it's like to go up against a wide receiver who's not afraid to get hit, not
Right.
afraid to go in the middle, and can actually, take the lid off the defense. That being said, Joshua Cephas going over there to Jacksonville, undrafted, brought in for the training camp. You know he's going to be a first or second cut of the day, right? First round of cuts, second round of cuts. Nope, he just advances. First preseason game had 3 receptions on 3 targets for 26 yards. He is being said by Jacksonville media to be the star of the training camp. So much so that the Heisman Trophy winner who is played up against him as quarterback can't stop him in practice.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Joshua Cephas? He might be an NFL player when it's all said and done.
Dude, I think he is. I'm actually glad you brought that up. I think it's one of the things that's not getting enough coverage right now. I've been following everything that he's been doing and all the talks that's coming out of Jacksonville. And I mean, just covering UTSA, I've got the chance to watch his entire career. He's a complete receiver. He can do it all. He can run routes on the outside. He can run routes on the inside. He's good after the catch. He has decent speed. He can do everything. He's a receiver's receiver. And whenever you have that type of ability and talent, it does not matter where you go, it will show itself. And I'm glad he's getting the opportunity, and Jacksonville is sticking with him to see if their investment's going to pay off. And ultimately, he's a good kid too. I think, yeah, he had some run-ins with some situations back in the day, but
Yeah,
everything I've heard from coaches that have coached him and even some of his teammates, they talk about how awesome of a guy he is and things like that. So I just wish him the best, and I hope he continues to show out there in Jacksonville, man. Because I think I thought he was a steal anyway. I actually thought he was going to be someone that was going to go late in the draft because he had so many yards, so much experience, so many games started. But yeah, everybody's path is different, and I hope he takes it to the next level.
looking at ESPN's depth chart for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they haven't slotted as a second string guy. Not one of the third stringers, not one of the fourth stringers. They have him coming up. Travis Hunter having a hard time flagging him down. They were saying 50-50 ball. And you see the highlights in practice, and it's like 50-50. No, it's not. He's going to come down with it.
Yeah.
He was by far my favorite UTSA Roadrunner the past few years. Sam Salina say, don't forget about Tariq Woolen.
Yeah.
So tell us about Tariq Woolen playing with the Seattle Seahawks.
Tariq Woolen's awesome, man. I think him playing, I can evaluate him a little bit more because he's played my position. He played corner. He's just a freak athlete who has really turned into a technician in the next level. I think I remember watching a lot of the tape of him at UTSA, and you can tell he made the transition from receiver early on, right? There were things about his technique that you can tell that there were certain areas of his game he was very proficient at, and certain areas of his game where he needed a little bit of work. And what you see from him now in the NFL, he's put all of that stuff together and he's become a complete corner as well. He can do it all. So hats off to him. He's going to have a very long career in the NFL. He's already made a Pro Bowl and those sorts of things, and he's on a short list. I think he's probably, depending on who you ask, he's a top 10 corner in the NFL right now. So I wish him nothing but the best as well, and I hope he stays healthy. But he's a sick player.
Hey, they got a question for you, Darian, real quick.
Of course.
Jonathan C., one of our listeners that's always here in the chat,
Yeah.
he says, what about Sincere? Is he going to bounce back?
So it's tough because the Raiders just picked up Ashton Genty. But everything I've heard about Sincere McCormick too, I mean, when they were saying he was the star of the camp also, right? Like Ashton Genty, of course, but Sincere McCormick was a name, or is a name, that is that I'm continuing to hear a ton out of Las Vegas. So he's probably fighting to be the number 2 guy over there behind Ashton Genty. It looks like he is, to be completely honest, but he's not going to get a ton of opportunities. So he's going to have to be efficient with those, and he's going to have to perform. So he only got 3 touches in his last preseason game for 11 yards. Not a lot to go off of there, but hopefully as the preseason kicks on, he gets a little bit more opportunity and he takes advantage of it.
He never should have declared, man. That's my thing about it. When it first happened, when it first went down, I was like, he's like a cookie that's 3 minutes too early to pull out of the oven, man. For some reason, I know he had the stats and all that stuff. It just wasn't meant to be, man. And I feel bad about that because he is a very talented running back. He's going to be trying to find his way. He reminds me of the Dallas Cowboys have Malik Davis, who they always have him at camp. He always balls out, and then all of a sudden he's on the practice squad, never on the 53-man roster. I hate for that to be Sincere McCormick because his trajectory was really high.
I know.
Back in the day, Marcus Davenport, I believe, was the first UTSA player drafted really high, first rounder, New Orleans Saints. Saints moved up in the draft to get him. If you look at the roster of UTSA, who's the one player that sticks out? You think to yourself, that guy's going to play on Sunday. Who should we be looking for?
The current roster right now?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I would probably say it's a guy that I've been talking about. I like our tight end Houston Thomas, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy who became Owen McCown's favorite target over the middle. Big guy, makes tough catches. And he's the modern day tight end who's kind of receiver first. He can block as well, but he's a guy that I think that if they continue to invest in him, I expect him to have a larger role this season. He's kind of a sleeper person for a sleeper pick, I would say, for NFL. But I think he'll have an opportunity. You also got some like specimen type guys like Kendrick Blackshire, who is a linebacker who spent time at Alabama, spent time at UT. He's going to be the starter this year. So if he has a good year, I think with the schools that he was at, some NFL teams were certainly going to be looking at him. And I'll give you another one. And this one came from a conversation that I had with one of the coaches at UTSA. UTSA just over the summer picked up a player from Oklahoma State named RJ Lester. He's a cornerback. And what came from that discussion was, hey, if this guy buys in and buys into what we're selling, he'll be an NFL player for sure. He fits that same mold as a Tariq Woolen and a Zay Frazier. That's 6'3", 195, 200 pounds at corner, who is a blazer from a speed standpoint. So he's somebody to watch for as well.
You mentioned the tight end Houston Thomas. You can't teach height. You can't.
No.
He's 6'5", 245 last season, 34 receptions for 470 yards, had 3 touchdowns. Going to be a junior this year. Houston Thomas, the tight end. Like you said, that's the left tackle's the best friend of a right-handed quarterback, but the tight end is the second best friend, the second best when it comes to it.
Yeah, he ain't old boy though. What was that guy's name? The biggest guy in the NFL right now. That's like 450. What's his name?
Oh, that guy.
From the kid from Florida.
Oh Lord,
yeah,
I saw him. I was like, man, can you imagine that dude coming at you 450?
Yeah, they gave him the Full Metal Jacket treatment. He couldn't practice. He had to walk around the track. He just walking around, just go around the track.
Desmond Watson. Yeah.
Very nice.
That's
man.
a big boy, man.
Yeah,
he was 460 playing. It's like you're upset that he came in at 450. What did you think he was going to be?
Exactly.
He is who he is. Talking to Darian Starling, previewing the upcoming UTSA football schedule. Again, they start off August 30th against the Texas A&M Aggies. Then they play September 6th at the Alamo Dome. I will be wearing orange that day because, again, it's a home game for UTSA. And then they have the degree.
Degree.
What does the degree on the wall tell you, Mike? Where did you get
Exactly.
the degree from?
I'm gonna start calling you Mike the Degree from here on out.
There
That's
you
your name for
go.
me.
There you go.
How
I
long
like
is Jeff
that.
Traylor going to be the coach of this team? Because isn't he going to get poached at some point? I mean,
Oh, man.
he's played footsies with Houston before. He's played footsies with Texas A&M. It wasn't footsies. He wanted A&M. Had they offered him A&M, he would have been gone. Right? What would his name have been, Joe?
Gone.
Gone.
You know, he reminds me of that one guy. Was it Uncle Elroy from Next Friday? What did he say? I'll never leave the hood. Yeah, I love the hood. And he said, as soon as I got my money, I was gone.
Yeah.
That's gonna be Traylor. As soon as I get my money and I get my offer, I'm gone.
To answer
Jim?
to answer your question on this one, this is an uncomfortable one that my show, my listeners don't even want me to discuss, but it's the truth. Someone asked me a question. This was about 2 weeks ago. They asked this question and everybody went and berated them in my chat. But I answered the question. I think it's truthfully. I think if he wins a conference title this year or next year, he's gone. And here's the thing. Yes, he wanted the A&M job. He wants the UT job. And I think he'd probably take a Texas Tech job. Also, I mean, they got all they're backing up the Brinks truck for all these kids who wouldn't take that job at this point, right? But I actually think there's other teams that he would probably go to as well if the money is good enough. There's some money that you're just not going to turn down. I know he's got a $30 million contract with UTSA over the course of I think to like I forget how the length of it, but yeah, I don't think we have it for too much longer. If I'm being completely honest, I'm gonna tell you something that I've heard from him directly. He needs resources.
Yeah.
And if he does not get the resources, he's not going to sit around and just play with his hands tied behind his back. And he's very passionate about that. Him and I had a discussion a couple months ago when I was down in San Antonio. And he made it very clear to me that resources is very, very important to him. And it's important that he is backed by the administration for that. So he loves San Antonio. That's one of the things that he was emphasizing in my conversation with him about his love for San Antonio and those sorts of things. But some of the things are public, right? He's asked for a covered pavilion, practice field, right? He hasn't gotten that. He's asked for more money and more effort on the NIL front so they can continue to get players and be able to compete with the top of the conference for recruits. He hasn't gotten all of the money he feels like he should have at this particular point in time. So you got to watch for things like that. And the longer those types of things goes on, the more chance that he may look elsewhere. And because teams are going to, I mean, he's one of the hottest coaches. I don't know if you guys seen, but he was rated like top 10 by ESPN in terms of like coaches right now with 4+ years in the same spot. It's like everybody in the country is seeing this. There's going to be a team that underperforms next year, and he's going or a big SEC school or something like that who underperforms next year, and I guarantee you he's on the short list. So
Joe, did you hear this? Did you hear what Darian said? He called UTSA poor. He called UTSA poor.
He didn't say it was poor. He didn't say the city was poor. He didn't say the city was poor. But you know what?
I don't know who said that. I don't know who said that.
When you look at it like this, and this is a discussion that I've had with my own daughter because she goes to UTSA. They left it up to the kids, right? To the kids going to school. And they had a vote on it. Do you want us to go ahead and increase your tuition so we can go after more talent? Basically that means that they're going to pump more money into the sports program and whatnot. And the kids collectively, the students, should I say, said no. They left it up to them to vote, and they said no, they don't want to increase tuition. UTSA is what it is at this point, and I get Traylor as far as his gripes about wanting more resources. If you want more resources, you're going to have to go to a bigger school. And with that said, If Traylor decides to go to a bigger school with deeper pockets and has more resources, I'm not going to fault him for that. In fact, I want to see him thrive. I want to
Well,
see him have success wherever he goes. And that's what UTSA fans should want for Traylor, too. I think he's proved that he can go ahead and coach at the highest level. He is on the short list of a lot of these coaches that are attractive to other teams. I think, like Darian was saying, I think he's kind of outstayed here in UTSA a little bit too long. I don't know why he hasn't gone sooner, but when he does get that calling again, I'm not going to fault the man for wanting to get paid and have a bigger stage.
yeah.
Why? Why would anybody fault him for that?
Traylor's in his late 50s. I don't want him to have any regrets. I
Yeah.
don't want him to be swinging on a porch 15 years from now going, man, I should have taken that Ole Miss job. I should have taken that Mississippi State job. That's what
Go
I
for
don't
that
want.
Jerry money over in Arkansas, right? Jerry
That's
Jones, Walmart.
right. But all the other schools that have an advantage over UTSA is because they have more affluent alumni, whether it be UT or A&M, or you mentioned Arkansas as well with Jerry Jones and Tyson Foods and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you look at UTSA, there's only so much money to go around. We had the baseball team make the super regionals, and they play on a little league park. That is the most
Darian.
embarrassing baseball field in all. Dude, I mean Northside ISD, Darian, just 3 miles away on Hausman and 1604, have a better baseball field and a better swimming complex and a better basketball field court rather than UTSA.
What did UTSA baseball do this time? You think they want to show the field out there to ESPN?
I was glad.
That's embarrassing.
UCLA won that we had to go over there because had ESPN showed up to the UTSA campus to see where UTSA rotor baseball's played, I don't even think the field's level. I think there's rocks out there. It's a little league park.
I want to jump in on this a little bit. I think it's because it can be a quite. I've found it to be a quite divisive subject. But UTSA's fundraising has not hit the marks that I think it could have. Because what I hear all the time from a lot of the people around the administration is San Antonio has so much potential. There's so much potential. Why aren't we getting more money from Valero and HEBs and some of the other bigger corporations in the city? And there's a lot of places to, or I don't know if there's a lot of places to place blame, but I think it falls on the athletic director's doorstep. And why I say it's divisive is because there are some people who look at like for example, she hires coaches. I mean, she does an amazing job at that. Her hire with Traylor, her hire with Hallmark at on the baseball side, Karen Aston, the women's basketball coach. She's made some great, fantastic hires, and she's able to keep these folks longer. That's a skill in itself. But when you look at the flip side, I've talked to some of the bigger donors at UTSA about her development from a fundraising standpoint, and some of it misses the mark a little bit. And I think that's where UTSA is going to have to, start to catch up in that way. And I don't know if that I'm not. Every time I bring this up, people like, oh, you're trying to fire someone or you're trying to like get somebody out. It's not that. I know for a fact UTSA is understaffed with their marketing team. There are the people that are working within that administration are wearing 2 and 3 different hats. They're specialists in some areas, and some areas they're not specialists, and they're being asked to deliver in those areas they're not specialists at in a big way, in a major way that's impacting whether coaches want to stay there or not, right? So like there needs to be more of an emphasis on some of these more finer details that really have a big impact on how far UTSA can push itself forward. And I just think that, I don't know, resource management is a big thing for them right now. And I know they're doing the best they can, but people are starting to notice, and that's never a good thing.
You know what, Darian? I'm going to take a page out of Michael Jimenez's playbook, and I'm going to show you what he is here on the Area 210 podcast. When you're not around, Mike has a saying, and he goes, you know what? If you don't have enough money, go make more. Go make more money, UTSA. That's what Mike's going to say.
Hey.
He says it with his chest out. He says that San Antonio is a poor city, and if you don't make enough money, work harder.
Go make more. Yeah,
He's not wrong. He's not wrong, especially when it comes to UTSA and this. He's not wrong at all.
Yeah.
Now, Lisa Campos does an amazing job, like you said, with the hiring, Pat Hallmark and all that. Although it was really interesting, the whole thing that happened with his contract, how he got out a year early because there was a typo in there. I mean, I'm not saying that was her fault, but I'm saying is that was so like UTSA.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. So people don't necessarily know this. For my day job, I don't cover sports full time. For my day job, I lead a contracts management team for a major company here in Austin. So all day I'm doing and overseeing business to business contracts, huge contracts. That kind of thing that happened literally can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is a colossal mistake and could have jeopardized that program, like the baseball program. And I mean, just imagine. I mean, he thought he was out of a contract. Like these are like
no, I don't think he thought he was. I think he saw the typo and knew about it beforehand because, like, the date was right everywhere else. It just wasn't right on that particular spot. Like there was one spot in the contract that was initialed and signed that had the wrong date, and it's just like tie goes to the runner. And in that case, the tie went to Hallmark because he says, "Hey, it says it here."
Yeah. He was correct in his assessment, but yeah, it's insane.
Very nice. Before we let Darian Starling go, one last question for you. Actually, the people on our stream have one question for you. You talk about the tight end Houston. They wanted you to compare him to Cardenas. That's one thing, and then I want you to give your prediction as a record for the team this year.
Okay. So the first one, Cardenas. As good as Cardenas was, and he was more of your bigger body, he could block and stuff as well. And he could catch too, but he was limited because he was so big in the receiving game to a degree. It didn't come out like that because he made huge, big plays down the field also, as well as, your short touchdowns at the end of the game and things like that. But I think what you get with Houston Thomas is a little bit more, he's a little bit more dynamic. He's a little bit more agile. His catch radius is a lot better than what Oscar can do just because he's smaller and he's mobile and he can stretch in different ways, right? And he has a bit more speed as well. So I'm not necessarily saying he's just miles above Oscar, but I do think he is someone who has the potential to end up being miles above what Oscar did. And as for a prediction, I'm gonna go UTSA 9-3 in the regular season.
Okay.
I think UTSA drops the game against Texas A&M, and although I don't have the exact games that I think UTSA will lose, the other two games I think they'll lose throughout the season. I feel like every season UTSA loses a game that they're just not supposed to lose. Where it's like, how does this happen, right? And that may happen twice throughout the year. So I'm going 9-3. Potentially still a conference championship run, but 9-3 is my prediction for the regular season for UTSA.
Well, that's good enough for a bowl game,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Very nice.
It might be championship or bust for UTSA, so I don't know if it's good enough for a championship for them. We'll see.
Now, Darian, how do we get in touch with you, man? Like, how do people follow you on social media, Twitter, your YouTube channel? When do you do your shows? All that stuff. Yeah,
of course, man. On Twitter, I'm Darian_UTSA. It's that simple. And then on YouTube, just type in Darian Starling, just my name. You'll be able to find me. My weekly show is Wednesday evenings at 6 p.m. I do them live, a lot similar to you guys, but not as clean as you guys. I'm gonna be stealing some of y'all's show production because this is so clean and so cool. I like even how you guys did the commercial. It was really tight. Chris, man. So shout out to you guys, man. I'm always trying to learn, and I recognize when things are good. And you guys do a good show. Also, I've tuned in a few times over the years, so I really appreciate you guys for having me on, and you guys keep doing your thing, man. I love it.
Very nice.
You know what, Darian? I take a page out of your playbook. You've been doing this for 10 years. I've been doing this for 10 years. A lot of times it's easy to quit. It's easy to stop. Life happens. But don't stop. If you got a passion for doing live streaming and podcasting, me and Darian are both testaments to. If you push on through and you keep on doing what you're doing, the doors will open and you'll find success. So don't give up. Never give up, right, Darian?
So what are you going to be doing, Darian, during games? Are you doing media stuff, or are you going to the games as a fan? Or are you going as a journalist? What are you doing?
Yeah, so all three, to be honest. So I've selected 3 home games that I'm going to go to. I'm going to cover those from a media standpoint. I'll do all media for some of them, but I'm like going to do the whole credentials thing and all of that for those 3. There's going to be away games. I'm probably going to do a live stream for those. I did that last year once, and people really liked it. So I'm gonna have some live streams this year. And then I'm always going to be live tweeting throughout the game and those sorts of things. So I encourage everybody to follow me on Twitter. You'll get plenty of if you like UTSA at all. I'm your guy for that. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing this year. A bit of a mixed bag.
That's awesome. I'm still waiting to see who wants to go to the game against A&M at Kyle Field. I'm over here living with my girlfriend in Conroe, which is about an hour and 15 minutes from Kyle Field.
My father-in-law's there.
Let's pick this up. Conroe's a nice place, man. It's a nice place. But
yeah.
That is Darian Starling. Follow him on YouTube. Follow him on Twitter as well. Did a fantastic job. Maybe we can make this a regular thing throughout the season.
Yeah.
Just let me know, man. I would love to.
Know.
Yep.
Very nice.
Thank you for having me on.
Let you get back to work, my man.
Bye.
Hey, what a perspective, right? He knows UTSA football as a player, knows UTSA football as a fan, and as a journalist as well. Thought he did a fantastic job.
Yeah, man. I'll get with them too, because I'm always about like trying to share knowledge and resources as far as like, things that we do here, so he can kind of borrow and take it and make his show better,
Yeah. Very nice. He does a fantastic job. Like I said, he's been doing this for 10 years, but I think he's blowing up. Like he said that his partner went away. It's his own thing, rebrand.
Yeah.
He's becoming more visible out there, doing a fantastic job. I will cheer for UTSA this year.
Yeah, no doubt. We're going to have to go ahead and at some point in time, we're going to have to go ahead and talk about some Dallas Cowboy talk. We're going to have to get into the NFL talk here. And, we do have some people have been sharing some stuff with us here via Media Share.
Yes.
And, I thought this was quite funny because one of our fans here had said every time you start talking about Jeremy Sochan, this is what he thinks about. Here we go. Which just says that, like the Joker. Here we go. Every time Mike mentions Jeremy Sochan. And that is funny because the Jeremy Sochan, and people are like, here we go. We're going to talk about Jeremy Sochan again. It's not that we don't want to talk about Jeremy Sochan, but it gets the fan base so triggered. It's a good topic of discussion,
Well, I mean, I asked the question on Twitter, a poll question, right before the show started. Is Jeremy Sochan injury prone? Just a yes or no question. 54 votes in while our show's been on. 52% saying yes. 48% saying no.
Check it out. And you have this poll up right now.
Yeah. I mean, key is the third option to that poll question should have been, well, he is, but I don't want to admit it. Right? That's the real answer when it comes to it all.
They know what he is, Mike. They know. Deep down, they know. The fan base knows. Is he injury prone? Yes, absolutely. Yes. 47.3%. How many of these are going to be Matt Lerma and his burner accounts? Come on.
Very nice. Hey, we were talking about the Dallas Cowboys. They lost their first preseason game. I'm not going to get too pissed off about a preseason game for any team, right? Because it's just preseason. This is really people battling out for the last spots. We mentioned Joshua Cephas with Jacksonville trying to get that last spot as a wide receiver over there, undrafted, looking very, very good, making Travis Hunter look like a chump out there, doing a fantastic job. But a couple of things out of the Cowboys camp right now. One, what the heck was CeeDee Lamb doing on the sidelines, man? I retweeted that, Joe. If you want to show that.
Yeah.
How is it? How are you know what's that from Friday? How'd you get fired on your day off? Type of thing. How did you get a personal foul when you're not playing? So for those of you that just watched during the game, CeeDee Lamb was just walking up and down the sidelines during the middle of a game.
Yeomans on the sideline can clear things up as we look at CeeDee Lamb on the sideline. Kyle?
Yeah, guys, this happened right in front of me.
Oh my! Can you imagine if CeeDee had gotten hurt? Can you imagine if CeeDee had hurt his neck?
Look at him. He got up, Mike, and he's like, "What the hell happened? Come on, ref."
Courtesy of Fox, by the way, Fox Sports.
Why is he
Uh,
so close? I mean, oh man,
he's
no,
on.
everything's wrong with
He
this,
was
bro.
on. He was on the white. You know, you can't be on the white stripe on the field.
Is that his Gomer?
Look at him.
Is
Look
that
at
his
him.
Forrest Gump moment?
Not
Stupid
even
is as stupid
looking.
does.
Look at the official. Full speed, just boom.
Ah.
Very nice. Got a super chat coming in from Greg Castanuela rather.
Castanuela.
Says, "Where's your Texas State insider, Mike? Huh? Hey, don't threaten me with a good time, man. If you want me to get one, I'll get one. Get Carl Schoenig in here to
Oh
do
God,
that.
we should get Carl. I've been wanting to get Carl on the show too. I'll reach out to him. I like
funny.
Carl, man. Carl's good people.
Other news and notes coming out of Dallas Cowboy camp. Did you see Adam Schefter's report on ESPN's Get Up this morning?
No, I
RJ
didn't
Ochoa
see that.
retweeted this. Says that, quote, he issued his trade request roughly 10 days ago, and there has been nothing that has transpired on a new contract since then, quote unquote, nothing. He's holding out, right? He's still at camp. He's doing his thing. He's mentoring the younger players. He's being a good teammate and all that stuff. He's on the final year of his deal. He asked Stephen Jones for a trade last week, saying 10 days ago, saying he didn't want to be part of the circus anymore. Didn't want his name brought up the way it's been brought up. Says he's being lied about. I am demanding a trade. And what did the Cowboys say? No. No.
You know who's doing this? You know who's the one that's orchestrating all this stuff? Jerry. He's behind. He's like, no, I'm not trading that son of a bitch. You know, we're gonna work out a deal. And you know what Jerry's gonna do?
We're gonna work out a deal without the agents, which is probably against the rules, by the way.
What's Jerry gonna do? Have him go into his office and share an egg McMuffin with him? Isn't that what Jerry eats every morning from McDonald's? Come on, Jerry. He's gonna wait till the first day of the regular season, and much like Dak, we worked out a deal. Everything's good now with Micah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man. He's not happy here. Jerry keeps on He's not happy with the disrespect. Jerry's all gonna have to but apologize to him in person.
Yep.
To kind of mull things over. And Jerry's gonna swallow his pride. He opened his mouth. He should be man enough to say, you know what? I'm sorry, Micah. I put my foot in my mouth. And that's gonna cost me money. I understand that. Let me get you paid. You know?
I think he's so arrogant and narcissistic that he can't do it. I mean, he might do it. He might do it in the sense of giving Micah what he wants, but I don't think he's ever going to say that he's wrong.
Nah, he doesn't seem like he says things, and he's just like you said, Mike. He doesn't see that he did anything wrong. I didn't say anything wrong. I did nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm. I was just doing my thing.
Yeah.
Very nice. Joe, you're talking about some changes in the streaming world involving Paramount. What's going on with that?
Jeez, man. Talk about some huge news that dropped. This is going to be something that's, I think, going to be the model moving forward for a lot of pay-per-view events. So what happened here is that Paramount and UFC have inked out a deal for the streaming rights. So now UFC has agreed on a 7-year, $7.7 billion exclusive US media rights deal with Paramount Plus. So that means that UFC is going to be coming to Paramount Plus. So if you're, a subscriber to Paramount Plus like I am, you're going to be able to see the UFC. But what's even more groundbreaking about this is what's happening here behind the scenes. So the historic deal with Paramount is going to be doing away with pay-per-view events. ESPN and UFC have been notorious for pay-per-view events, having to pay the $70, $80, whatever it might be, even $90 to watch an event. That pay-per-view model is archaic and old. If you want to go ahead and combat the piracy, you have to stop with the pay-per-views. The fans have shown that they no longer care to pay. They want to go ahead and pay one monthly cost and be able to watch everything, including the marquee matchups. UFC doing this, I think it's going to go ahead and have ripple effects now going into the industry as a whole, where the new model is going to be, if you're paying or subscribing to, is it Paramount Plus, Peacock, whatever it might be, and you want to go ahead and see boxing, for example, Mike, you should pay one monthly cost and then be able to see the pay-per-views at no extra charge. Amazon is still hanging on to that pay-per-view model when it comes to boxing. I think that needs to go away too. That's how you combat the piracy. You make the events easily accessible and easy to watch. And I think that UFC has sent a big message in doing the $7.7 billion deal with Paramount. So that goes to tell you, with this increase here of Paramount spending money, how is that going to pass off to the consumer, Mike? Are we going to wind up paying more, you think, for Paramount Plus every month?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. And whether that alienates the existing fan base of Paramount, Paramount you go to for things like 1883 and the 1923 or whatever, all the Yellowstone offshoots, right? You go to that for that, right? You go for various shows. They may not be into the whole thing involving UFC. I understand that UFC is big, but UFC may not have the same viewership as this, and they might be pissed off if they go from $9 to $19 because of this. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm glad I'm not a UFC guy. I'm glad, because I wouldn't want to pick up another subscription. UFC to me is like a boat, right? The best thing about having a boat is not owning one, but knowing somebody who does, right? Because boats are expensive. Boats have maintenance. Boats have all sorts of things that you don't want to do, right?
But you act like there's nothing to see on Paramount Plus, but there is, because Paramount Plus has NFL games that they stream, right? They have, they used to have
None of the good ones.
like cage matches, kind of like UFC, but it was something else. And they also still have, they used to have soccer. So what Paramount Plus is doing is they're actively out there trying to go ahead and get more sports to stream, because they want to go ahead and bring the sports fans over. But they have other things and other offerings that you can watch. But the problem is you can't watch their live TV, like local over-the-air CBS station that we have here, affiliate, which is Ken's 5. You can't watch that over the air for free with just your basic paid tier option.
Right.
You have to have Showtime included so you can do that. And to me, that's asinine.
J10SB asking the question, how is Jimenez comparing UFC to a boat right now? I'm comparing it in the sense that I don't want to pay for a boat, but I'd like to enjoy one. I don't want to pay for UFC. I don't want to pay Paramount to watch a UFC fight, but I'll watch it off somebody else's Paramount.
You see, here's the thing that people say, just like Jonathan C., who needs a subscription? Just use a stream. You see, the problem with streams is that y'all don't seem to understand nothing's for free. And that's why they tell you all to use a VPN. While you think that, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and go on here and I'm going to go ahead and stream this fight from one of the illegal sites, they can easily access your computer as well. They're going to be able to access your IP address, every single device, whether it be a computer, it be a tablet, laptop, your phone. The way that they go ahead and know who's watching what is that every single device has an IP address. When you use a VPN, the VPN masks your IP address and keeps it from the prying eyes of hackers, because even after you've streamed that event, these hackers still have access to your IP address. And believe me, they're going to try to find a way to hack into your computer or try to steal your information some way, somehow. So nothing's free. You got to be careful if you're going to use IPTV or stream on these illegal sites. VPN is the key. Better yet, get a good router and make sure that it has a really good firewall built into it. I've spent a lot of money personally on my network because I do work for the government. So I have to make sure that I have a solid, rock solid, secure connection. You all should do the same, especially if you're going to be streaming on these illegal sites.
It's so complicated. Back in the day, it was so easy to watch sports, man. But it's gotten to be so complicated. Let's talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to have another guest. And today, we had Darian Starling. Thought he did a fantastic job. It was a great debut on the Area 210 podcast. Tomorrow,
JHNSP. Stream East doesn't have hackers, brother. The whole thing of Stream East is set up by hackers. They're running the show.
Tomorrow, Michael Carlos comes in from the San Antonio Current. We're going to be talking about a debate between me, Joe, and Mike Carlos about Project Marvel. Mike Carlos, by the way, has gone to our events. He was at Pete's place with us in Helotes for the draft party that we had a while back. San Antonio Express News came out this morning. Their editorial board, wholehearted support for Project Marvel. So we need to ask Carlos exactly what he's thinking when it comes to it all. He's been very critical in his reporting, his editorializing of what's going on with that. One of the things that he's talking about, though, is that the Spurs are pledging X amount of money, but not saying exactly how they're going to spend it. I mean, they give a rough draft as to it all, but they haven't given the full menu of, and here's how it's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
They're giving the itinerary, but not the full details, right? And he's saying that the city of San Antonio is on the hook for either this much or that much. There's a cap as to how much the city is on the hook for, but still,
City
he's like,
and the county. Let's not forget about that. They got to work together.
But the county probably has more money per person than the city does, so I don't think the county is really too worried about it. And then what's going to happen to the east side, because you saw that there are two council members who are not supportive as of yet for Project Marvel. District 2, District 5. Also known as the two poorest districts, right? Inner West Side, East Side.
Yeah.
And they're not supportive. And then District 2, because they're like, well, this could have been done over here. And no, it couldn't have been, because no one wants to go to the East Side. Sorry. The people who want to go watch Spurs games from Stone Oak and from Sonterra and Alamo Heights and Bernie, they do not want to go Alamo Heights, downtown. They don't want to go to the East Side to go party.
The problem, too, what's going on here is that Gina Ortiz-Jones doesn't seem like she's really interested in bringing sports to San Antonio. She's interested in more of what's happening here for the people, right? How is it affecting the city, county, that kind of thing. When it comes to sports, what she's wanting is she wants this to be handled much like you would do any other offering that's coming up to the city council. She wants full transparency. She wants to have all this information as far as who's paying what, where's the money coming from, how much is the dollar amount that we're going to be spending. She's acting like this is going to be some type of street project. We're filling potholes. We're building an extension over to 410, 1604, a new flyover or something. This is totally different. What this is meaning right now, and what she has to understand, is this is impactful for years to come. And it's not going to, let's say, happen while she is at the helm of being the San Antonio city mayor, right? This is going to be after she leaves. It's going to affect the next person that's going to be mayor, the person after that's going to be mayor. They're going to be the ones that are going to have to deal with the ramifications of what gets voted on by the people here and how it moves forward. So there's a process to this. She needs to get on board at some point and be like, you know what? I need to go ahead and look at this and treat this differently like I would any other project. This is something totally different.
They want to play chicken with the Spurs, and what happens when that happens is you F around and you find out.
Yeah, they might be going to Seattle.
I am passionate about this because, Joe, who was my favorite team football growing up? I've mentioned this before. I've been a Saints fan since 2005, since Katrina. Who was my favorite team growing up, rivaling the Spurs as to my heart and my soul following them, was the Houston Oilers.
Yeah.
And I cried literal man tears, teenage tears, when Bud Adams didn't get what he wanted from the city of Houston, which was market number 4, by the way, right now. It was probably a top 10 market back then. Bud Adams didn't get what he wanted. He went from Houston to Memphis, Memphis to Nashville. It happened to the city of Houston. You don't think it's going to happen to San Antonio? You think you
Look
can play
what happened
chicken?
with Oakland A's.
Oakland A's, the Golden
The
State
Raiders.
Warriors, Golden State Warriors. They lost all 3.
Yeah.
They lost all 3. If you think that you're going to be able to play hardball because, well, these teams have a net worth of what $1 billion, that doesn't mean they have the cash to do that. You know, I have a net worth, right? Doesn't mean I have that in the bank. That means that's the totality of everything, right? That's my 401k. That's my whatever.
The Spurs still have to get loans in order to pay players and whatnot. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, I don't think they get loans.
It's
They
not
get
really
revenue.
going to be,
They get TV revenue, but
but it's
the
still
but
not going to
the
be enough. It's like you said, net worth, but do you have all that money in the bank? Probably not.
right. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. And it's stupid, right? But I am a recovering Houston Oilers fan. In my car right now, I have 2 ball caps. One's a Spurs one, one's an Oilers one. Why? Because those are the 2 teams that had my heart. I'm a Saints fan. I love the Saints. I cheer for the Saints. I go to their games at least once a year or once every other year. I love the Saints. But I don't have the passion for the Saints that I did the Spurs or the Oilers back in the day. They're
No.
kind of like that's who I adopted later on in life. I was 28 years old when I adopted the Saints. I
Yeah.
didn't grow up a Saints fan. I grew up an Oilers fan.
Look
And
at that.
because yeah,
I think a lot of the people here in San Antonio are not happy with Gina Ortiz-Jones and the way she's approaching the Project Marvel. But the problem is that you all voted for her. You all wanted her in office. This is who you voted for.
well, the good news is that she can be overruled, and she already was. Like her
Yeah.
her political clout took a hit right away when
Wanting to
she
pause
she wanted
Project
to pump
Marvel.
the brakes on it, and the city
Yeah.
council looked at her and just gave her the finger and moved on. It showed
That's not how
exactly
things work. You can't pull a Nelson Wolf.
it showed exactly how much cachet she had, and then you see Henry Cisneros and Ron Nirenberg doing interviews the next day. All but dancing in the end zone. You know
Yeah.
what?
She's one of us, bro. She's not even from here. She's over in Washington, bro. Come on.
This all needs to be done in order to move the city forward. We have the Terminal 3 going on at the airport, extension of the Henry B, revitalizing downtown, making downtown a place where all people can go to. It's always going to be the poor districts that say no, forever. Like we shouldn't even ask them. Like it should be like, we're going to have a vote on this in city council, 2 and 5. We know you're going to say no because you guys don't have anything to offer. So no, fine. District 2, District 5, go make more money. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. That is the district of no. That's the district of no progress because there's been no progress in their district, and how dare there be progress anywhere else? Okay. And we had somebody ask the question earlier. Don't say your argument's going to be because you don't want poor people around the arena. Damn straight I don't want poor people around the arena.
What? Come on, Mike.
Joe, Joe, would you park? Okay. Do you want to park your car in a properly lit area that has security and valet or valet? Or do you want to be out in the corner down the street where
No,
it's dark?
Mike, say it right. Say it with your chest out. What are you trying to say, bro?
What word are you trying to make me say?
What were you trying to say, bro? You don't want to park with who? You don't want to park with who?
You want me to say the peasants? You say
You don't want to park with the peasants. It's okay. It's okay, bro. You can say the word.
Well, look, Joe. When I left the Philadelphia to go to the Sixers game, did I feel threatened walking out of there, going across the street to a bar?
Oh, the
No.
city of brotherly love, bro. Come on.
No, that's a rough town. But you know what's not rough? You know what? I mean, they pelt Santa Claus with batteries, right? But
Yeah.
do you know what is not an unsafe place? Is where the Eagles play, Lincoln Financial Field, Wells Fargo Stadium, which is where the Flyers and the Sixers play. It's a sports district. When I go to Dallas, and you go to Jerry World, to Texas Live, to where the Rangers play, do you feel safe? Yeah, right. When you go to LA, you go out of the crypto. When you go out of Denver and you go out of their stadiums and Coors Field and all that stuff, every place you feel safe and you feel like you want to be there, and you want to experience the nightlife. Mark my words, District 2 and District 5, there will never be nightlife in your area. Never. Never. Because even if progress presented itself, you wouldn't want it.
You know why? I can tell you in one word or 2 words, however you want to say it. Crackhead. Plain and simple. Crackhead. You go around the block, you try to put gas in your car, already approached with somebody trying to shake you down.
Joe,
hey, man, you want to buy a little something? Or a crackhead asking you for money. No, man, come on.
Joe, I've been trying to convince Chica to move to the 210 or the 813. Is that 8? Not 813. 210, 830. And every time San Antonio presents itself to her, why you got to mess it up, man? Why do I have to go up and be by the Wood Federal Building, the federal courthouse downtown, and be like, you see, it's a pretty nice day here in San Antonio, and you see a homeless woman drop her pants and take a shit on the sidewalk. Why am I walking? Why am I driving through Brackenridge Park to go to the Pearl, and I see a guy taking a leak, not facing a wall, but facing the street?
They don't give a damn, Mike. That's what they said.
Why
You're
is
right
it-
there and you're looking at him.
I don't give a damn.
We stayed at a hotel right across from, or catty corner to the San Fernando Cathedral. We stayed at the Element Hotel over the weekend. It's a nice little hotel. Actually, very inexpensive. Very nice. Walking out the door, some homeless guy just screaming his head off. And I'm like, I brought her back inside because I didn't want her to look to the right. So crazy people, homeless people, Section 8 housing, all that stuff. Do I want that around the stadium? No. They don't pay taxes. They don't. You got to pick them up and get the F out. Eviction. Sometimes gentrification, Joe, is a good thing. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I want these people to get help. And we should all donate money for causes, for churches, and for charities, and Haven for Hope and all that stuff. I'm not saying that they don't deserve help or dignity for that, Joe. What I am saying is they shouldn't be the reason why we don't have a team. They shouldn't be the reason why we don't have Project Marvel. That's all I'm saying.
It would be ironic, right, that the people of San Antonio voted for Gina Ortiz-Jones. She's kind of impeding the progress, so to speak, when it comes to Project Marvel here. What if it doesn't get passed? What if the voters decide not to vote in favor of Project Marvel?
And that's
then
the
what's
voters.
going to happen? That's the voters. And then what happens?
And then she would have to side with that because that's what the voters said, right?
Yeah, it's the irony in the thing. You know, you want to put the pause on Project Marvel, but it's really up to the voters at this point. And if the voters decide not to move forward with Project Marvel, they all but kill the deal there. And then you lose the Spurs and they go either up the corridor here and they go to Austin, or they wind up leaving altogether and go to Seattle or something. You know, you fumbled the bag.
I look at it this way, Joe. This is a big test for the city of San Antonio. When the Spurs said they wanted a new stadium, I thought we're going to get drawings and renderings for a new stadium. And they said, no, we want to have a whole brand new downtown. And some people have told me that they think that the Spurs overshot the goal so that it recedes back to, well, at least we have a badass stadium, right? And they're saying, we want the whole district. We want the whole thing done. We want Alamo Dome done. We want renovations to the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, a new hotel, an extension to the convention center, which is beautiful, by the way. This is ambitious for the city of San Antonio. The problem that you have, Joe, are we an ambitious city?
You know what else was ambitious? A movie I watched on the weekend, Mike, and I want to kind of bring this up as we bring the show to a close here. I went to go see a movie called Weapons, and it's been much talked about, you know, all over social media, even on Rotten Tomatoes, got a really high rating and whatnot. It's a horror movie, you know, it kind of makes you think. I went in there with an open mind, looking to see something different, right? Okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. It was okay, but I think what happened with the movie Weapons is that it was too ambitious for its own good. I thought it was okay. While it was a little bit different, there was still a lot of things that weren't explained in the film. You know, it suffered from wanting to go ahead and show you what's going on from the perspectives of these characters that you have that are part of the actual story itself. So you're going through looking at little broken pieces. You're looking at a perspective of one character, from another character, another character, another character. I think it's about maybe 4 characters here, or 5 in total, that they kind of show you little bits and pieces of the story as a whole. And then at the end, you have the big unveil, you know, but it just seemed like it was kind of broken up. And while it did start off well, it was just the delivery that kind of felt a little lacking. But if you're looking to see something different and unique, go ahead and give it a shot. Maybe you might like it because it is different from other movies that I've seen in the horror genre. So this is one that's kind of
It's a
out
Jordan
of
Peele movie,
five.
right?
It's a horror movie, but out of a 5-star rating, I'd have to give it like a solid 3.5. Well, it isn't bad. It's not as amazing as people are making it out to be. It's okay. It's
Okay,
worth
people
the
don't want
watch.
people don't want spoilers. People don't want spoilers.
No.
On
I'm not giving away any spoilers at all. I'm not saying anything that's happening. I'm just going ahead and telling you what the movie is about. But you can go ahead and check it out for yourself, and it is different. So if you're looking to see something different, and you're a horror movie buff, give it a shot.
Hey, we have breaking news coming on in, Joe.
Oh, should we play the jingle?
Yeah, let's do it. The Associated Press has just released its first college football poll, Joe, top 25.
Nice.
According to
Do you
the
have it on your Twitter or your
no,
X?
I just got an alert on my phone. Number 1, Joe, the Texas Longhorns are on the Associated Press top 25 list. They are number 1. Number 2, Penn State Nittany Lions. Number 3, Ohio State Buckeyes. Number 4, Clemson Tigers. Number 5, the Georgia Bulldogs running out the top 10. Notre Dame, Oregon, Alabama, LSU, and the Miami Hurricanes. At 11, Arizona State. 12, Illinois Fighting Illini. 13, the Cox, South Carolina Gamecocks. Number 14, the Michigan Wolverines. 15, the Florida Gators. 16, the Ponies, SMU Mustang. 17, the Kansas State Wildcats football. Wildcats football. Number 18, Oklahoma Sooners. 19, the A&M Aggies, who start the season against the UTSA Roadrunners at Kyle Field on August 30th. Number 20, the Indiana Hoosiers. 21, Ole Miss Rebels. 22, Iowa State Cyclones. 23, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. 24, Tennessee Volunteers. And rounding out the top 25, the Boise State Broncos with their blue turf out there in Idaho. That rounds up the top 25. But Texas is number 1 to start the year, according to the Associated Press.
I'm surprised they put Penn State as number 2. I
Mark
thought that would be
Cavasso,
Iowa.
yeah.
Or
But
Iowa
Mark
State.
Cavasso is coming out of nowhere asking the question, Chica seems like a Stone Oak Mexican lady. Joe, go to my Twitter account. I posted photos of us from our date night. Interesting question, Joe. You've met Chica a
Yeah.
handful of times. Is she a Stone Oak Mexican lady?
But the thing is that she's not like
She's not
full
full
on
Latina.
Latina, so it's
Oh yeah,
not like
yeah. So
Yeah.
Chica is Native American. She's predominantly Native American.
yeah,
She's Apache.
just like me.
So
I
likes
think I can agree with Chica likes to be a little bougie. Nothing wrong with that.
the Chica is frugal Sunday through Thursday. She's frugal. She's bougie Fridays and Saturdays. But what I like about Chica is this: she always looks on point. But you know what? She likes nice clothes. She doesn't ever want to pay top dollar for it. Never, 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 never. She's the queen of like thrifting and Facebook Marketplace and all that stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tony Anales says Apache women stabbed their boyfriend. Speaking of Tony Anales, if you go onto my Twitter account there was a photo of the Twitter that he shared on social media.
Yeah.
He got his new merch. So we can pimp the merch, Joe.
Let's go ahead. And
I didn't. I showed this to Chica, and she was startled.
Well, she brought the tank of your face on it.
That's true. She has yet to wear it because I don't want her to wear that to bed. But Tony's saying that might be his night shirt.
Well, if it's a little too big for you, just throw it in the dryer for a bit, brother.
Very nice.
Well, he's the one that asked for that particular size, so he's got no one else to blame but himself.
That's right. Again, our chat is powered by P.F. Chang's La Cantera. Go tell Sean hi for us. Sean Quintero, one of the big wigs over at P.F. Chang's La Cantera.
Don't
They
forget
do an
about their
amazing job
wines.
with Chinese food. Wines Day Wednesday, half off wine and champagne bottles every Wednesday all day. every day, 7 days a week. They have happy hour from 3 to 6. Again, PF Chang's Lock on Terra. Power is the chat. If you could show my number, 210-508-0369. I'm actually going to have to change that because I have a work phone number now. But 210-508-0369 if you have questions about retirement accounts, retirement planning, investments, life insurance, long-term care. That's what I do. If you know of a financial advisor who is looking for a new job, I hire them. Give me a call, 210-508-0369. Again, 210-508-0369. I handle people's money for a living. And I do an all right job. Going to be celebrating my 20-year anniversary this year, Joe.
Nice.
Joe, it's a good show.
It's a good show. We had a good guest on, something different. I
My
enjoyed it.
audio was working.
That was the biggest gripe. Oh, and I forgot to show a picture. Somebody had sent us a picture, which was Jason Garcia. So in honor of, the NFL preseason and what not getting kicked off here this week, he's kind of repping his team, the Seattle Seahawks, from the great state of Oregon there. Beautiful background, by the way.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful part of the country, man. Very much so. So apparently there's an article here, District 7, according to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5, District 7 council member Marina Alderete Gavito, on her support to not delay Project Marvel, says, quote, "We have been clear we are ready to move forward with term negotiations and bring this to a council vote before the end of August. I'll continue working with a majority of colleagues to push them across the finish line. I remain open to further discussions with the Spurs to ensure we get this best deal for San Antonio," end quote. Again, they're pushing for Project Marvel. But Joe, I have to get back to work. Phone is ringing off the hook already. Tomorrow, Michael Carlos from the San Antonio Current will be on. We will have him. We'll debate Project Marvel with him. Joe, fantastic show. Thank you so much for Darian Starling. Don't forget to follow him on Twitter and on TikTok as well. Also on YouTube. Subscribe to his channel. We'll be back tomorrow, Joe.
See you boys tomorrow. We're out. Peace.
See ya.